Bristol Motor Speedway will be hosting a dirt late supermodel race a week before the Trucks and Cup Series take the racetrack for the Bristol Dirt Race, and there are quite a few spotter moves that will be taking place for the 2021 NASCAR Cup Series season. What's going on, guys? It's Daniel, and welcome back to our video. We got two NASCAR stories to discuss today on the channel. Let's go ahead and just jump straight into it. The first story we're going to talk about is Bristol Motor Speedway, as like I mentioned at the beginning of this episode, they're going to be hosting a dirt super late model race a week before the Trucks and the Cup Series take to the racetrack for the Bristol Dirt Race weekend that'll take place on March 27th and March 28th. This event will take place on March 17th and 20th, and it will be called the Bristol Dirt Nationals. This event is being promoted by a company called Accelerated that basically hosts a lot of live stream events for all motorsports online, so it's a great way for you to basically watch motorsports live streams if you cannot be at this event. I think that this is really cool that Bristol Motor Speedway is doing this. It's a great way for these late model drivers to basically test out the racetrack too, since it's been about 20 years since we've had any sort of dirt at the track of Bristol. They held, in 2000, 2001, they held dirt races for the World of Outlaws, and I think they had pretty successful events. That being said, a lot of Cup Series drivers have never really driven in dirt cars in the past. Again, we do have a few NASCAR drivers that are going to be racing at the Chili Bowl later this year. We know Chase Elliott is one of those drivers. Kyle Larson is expected. So those guys are going to kind of have an advantage in this event. But for a lot of drivers, they're probably going to be coming to this event in particular to kind of check out and see how is this going to work for the drivers. I think that this is a really cool event that they're doing. I'm really excited about this event as well. I might end up watching online if it is able to be live streamed, or if it's on TV. Hopefully Fox ends up hosting this event and having it online, because I think it'd be really cool if Fox would like live stream this or televise it on Fox or FS1. I think they might end up doing that a week before. I really don't know what their TV schedule is currently at the moment. But again, I do expect a lot of NASCAR drivers to be watching from the Truck Series and the Cup Series, because like I said, quite a few of these drivers don't have a lot of dirt racing experience, and they kind of want to see, just in case, how is the track going to be? If these late model drivers do put on a good show, again, I think these late model drivers will do a really good job at putting on a really good show for this event, and I hope that we get to see a really good event for the Bristol Dirt Late Model Race. I think that this is a really cool event, and I cannot wait for this event to take place in 2021, the week before the Bristol races for the Truck Series and the Cup Series. And now we get on to the other story of this episode. There are quite a few spotter moves that are going to be taking place before the 2021 season, and the most notable one that it really made me start off first is that Clayton Hughes is not going to be the spotter for Martin Truex Jr. in 2021. The spotter for Martin Truex Jr. is a former NASCAR driver who has raced in NASCAR in the past and is a driver that was at Toyota, Drew Herring. Clayton Hughes, he is going to be moving over to spot for Michael McDowell in 2021. So unfortunately, you're not going to be hearing any longer from Clayton Hughes. You're not going to be hearing stage winner NTJ. You might hear from Clayton Hughes. You may hear stage winner MM or stage winner Michael McDowell. That's very possible. We could see that. But I'm really surprised that this move is happening. But it's 2020, so anything can really happen at this point. But I'm really surprised that Martin Truex Jr. is not going to be spotted by Clayton Hughes this year. I think that Martin Truex Jr. has worked with Clayton Hughes since he moved over to Furniture Row Racing in 2014. So he's worked with him for a very long time. And Clayton Hughes, I think, is a really, really good spotter. I know people get annoyed when you hear stage winner MTJ, but I think Clayton Hughes is a really good spotter. He knows what he's doing. I think he'll actually help out Michael McDowell next year as a spotter. I think he'll do a really good job next year to work with Michael McDowell, and I think he'll do a really good job next year working to him. Drew Herring is a really interesting case, because I think Drew Herring is a really good race car driver, and a lot of times, a lot of these race car drivers do tend to be good, unless you're Tony Raines. That's a different story, because he kind of screwed up Sam Hornish Jr.'s race at Auto Club in 2015. Hopefully, the guy in the 96 car doesn't end up messing up ends up messing up Martin Truex Jr. and having issues there. I hope that really isn't the case right there. So, yeah, that's one of the spotter changes. Let's talk about the other spotter changes that are taking place and are saying. Steve Barkdahl is going to be working with Daniel Suarez again. He's been working with Daniel Suarez for the last couple of years. He worked with him at God Brothers Racing. He will remain with Daniel Suarez for next year and goes over to Trackhouse Racing next year. Eric Jones' spotter is still going to be remaining as Rick Corelli. Rick Corelli has worked Eric Jones since his days at, I think it was at Furniture Row. He worked with him over in 2017. So Rick Corelli will remain with Eric Jones. He'll be moving over with Eric Jones to Richard Petty Motorsports. Stevie Reese, who spotted for Chris Bell last year in the number 95 car, will be moving over to Joe Gibbs Racing's number 20 car to spot for him in 2021. Bubba Wallace's spotter will once again be Freddie Kraft. Freddie Kraft has worked with Bubba Wallace since 2018 when he moved up to the Cup Series for Richard Petty Motorsports. He'll be moving over Bubba Wallace to 23XI Racing. Those are the spotters that are going to be staying in their right places. Chris Monez, who has been a spotter for Ty Dillon for the last couple years, will be moving over to spot for Kyle Larson in 2020, which means that Earl Barbin, who has been a spotter for Jimmie Johnson, will not be returning to Hendrick Motorsports in 2021. We're not certain what's going on with Earl Barbin for 2021, if he's going to be spotting. We're going to talk about another spotter who's not going to be returning, where he could end up going to in 2021. But Chris Monez will be the spotter for Kyle Larson, and Earl Barbin, who's been a spotter with Hendrick Motorsports since 2006, will no longer be with Hendrick Motorsports after this year. I think it really is disappointing that Earl Barbin's not going to be returning after 2020 to spot anymore for Hendrick Motorsports. I think he spotted for Jimmie Johnson really, really well in the NASCAR Cup Series. He's done a really good job as a spotter to help Jimmie Johnson. He's also from St. Louis, the area where I am. So I think it's really cool what he's done in his career. He may end up eventually being a Hall of Famer as a spotter. Who really knows? But he's done a lot with Jimmie Johnson. He started spotting, like I said, back in 2006 for Hendrick Motorsports, and he's been spotting ever since for Jimmie Johnson. I expected Kyle Larson and Earl Barbin to work together. That is not going to be the case, and Earl Barbin will no longer be working at Hendrick Motorsports in 2021. Brandon McReynolds is going to become the new spotter for Ross Chastain. So really cool that Brandon McReynolds is a really cool race car driver, an awesome race car driver, so did really well in the ARCA Series. He will become the spotter for Ross Chastain in 2021. I think Brandon is a solid spotter, and I think he'll do a really good job working with him in 2021. Jeff Doucette, who I think was originally the spotter for Michael McDowell, I think he was, if I'm not mistaken, will become the spotter for Corey LaJoie when he moves over to Spire Motorsports in 2021. So we know who the spotter is going to be for Corey LaJoie next year. We just don't know who the crew chief is going to be. It might be one of the crew chiefs who's worked at Spire Motorsports, but we'll probably find out sooner or later what Todd Braun is going to do over there. But Corey LaJoie's spotter will be Jeff Doucette in 2021. The final major spotter announcement we have to talk about is Chase Briscoe. Chase Briscoe's spotter, Brett Griffin, is not going to be expected to run full-time as a spotter in 2021. So there is a very big possibility currently that Earl Barbin could end up going there as spotter. Earl Barbin has not ruled out if he's going to return or not. Currently, it's not been ruled out if he's going to be returning or not. We'll find out here in the near future what the plans are for Earl Barbin. But Brett Griffin is not expected to be returning full-time because basically he's been working with Clint Boyer for a very long time as a spotter. And since he was over at H. Scott, I think he worked with him over at Michael Waltrip Racing. So I don't expect Brett Griffin to come back full-time. Don't expect that. So I think Earl Barbin can end up being the spotter for Chase Briscoe, which I think would be a really good move for Chase Briscoe to have a veteran spotter and someone who's like a Hall of Famer when it comes to spotters tendencies. I think that he will be a really good spotter for Chase Briscoe if he does end up becoming a spotter for him in 2021. Overall, some of the craziest spotter changes that I didn't expect. I did not expect Clayton Hughes to not be working Mark Truex Jr. next year again. I thought he'd be working Mark Truex Jr. in 2021, but things can change really quickly. I think Drew Herring could end up being a really solid one. Who knows what will happen there? As I'm currently editing today's video on the other stuff we're talking about, it was just announced a few seconds ago that Action Express Racing has announced their driver lineup for the number 48 car Cadillac that they will run in 2021 at the Rolex 24. The 4 drivers are going to be Jimmie Johnson, Simon Pagenaud, Kamui Kobayashi, and Mike Rockenfeller. And Ally will sponsor the car for the 2021 Rolex 24 at Daytona. This is a really, really big star-studded lineup. All 4 of these drivers have a lot of success and a lot of recent runnings of this event. You have Kamui Kobayashi, who just, I think, won the Rolex 24. I think it was 2019 or 2019, if I'm not mistaken. So he recently, just about a year or two ago, won the Rolex 24 Daytona. So that's a really big pickup. Plus, he's a Cadillac driver, so it's no shocker there that he will be driving in that car. Simon Pagenaud and Jimmie Johnson were expected to be 2 of the drivers that were going to run for this team. They both have were expected to run for the Action Express car. Had been reported months ago. They were expected to run at Action Express in an all-star car. These are two of the drivers that work for him about a week or two back, according to, I think it was sportscars365.com. So Jimmie Johnson and Pagenaud working together. Simon Pagenaud and Jimmie Johnson. Really cool to see both. And they come back. And the other driver, like I mentioned, Mike Rockenfeller. Mike Rockenfeller, I don't know if he's ever had any DPI running, to my knowledge. I know he's ran a lot of the GT Corvette cars in the past, but man, I thought it was going to be Chase Elliott. I thought Chase Elliott was going to run. It looks like Chase Elliott would probably be driving in the Corvette team, I guess. I really don't know what's going on over there, but man, Mike Rockenfeller, who's had a lot of success in Le Mans, is going to be driving the DPI as well. This car has a really good shot at winning. You look at the star-studded lineup, all four drivers, I think, could carry this team in 2021 at the Rolex 24, and I think that this is going to be really fun to watch in 2021. Great news to hear that Jimmie Johnson is going to be running the Rolex 24 Daytona for Action Express. Cannot wait for this event to take place in 2020. I cannot wait for all four of these drivers to race for Action Express Racing in 2021. So, anyway, that is going to be it for today's NASCAR news video. I want to thank you guys for watching. Please like and subscribe to the channel, notifications, so give me notified when a video does go live on my channel. Follow me on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Links description below for that, and comment your thoughts on today's video. What do you think about all the spotter changes that are taking place in 2020? Do you think all the moves that are happening are good, or do you think some of them are good and some of them are bad? Let me know in the comments below. And what are your thoughts about this Bristol super late dirt model event that's going to be taking place a week before Bristol? Do you like that event is happening or not? Let me know in the comments below. Make sure you like this video so YouTube can recommend more great videos out on my channel. If you do that, I'd really appreciate it. Anyway, like I said, I want to thank you guys for watching today's video, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, everybody.